It looks like a title contender. Fingers crossed. I mean, I'm assuming I've got this right. MCL38, time 8:38. You know, the general consensus. Do me a favor, you Twitch nerds as well. Just like that video, like that. Oh, actually, I'll tell you why. Actually, I set it to private. There we go. It's public now. Yeah, I set it to private because I didn't know the time, and then I've set it to public now. It's public now. For anyone that doesn't remember, this is what the livery looks like. But this was on last year's car. But this is actually really good because when they show off their actual car, we can directly compare it now with the same liveries, which will make it much easier to spot differences. Because this is their new livery. Lots of carbon. But this is on the old car. So it's going to be a lot easier, I think, now to spot the updates, I think. So I would have thought they'd have had some sort of YouTube video. Suppose they did have a YouTube video for their livery. They're doing a shakedown in Silverstone today, so it might just be shots from Silverstone that they share. It's hard to know, really, what they're going to share. We'll see. What's the favorite livery so far that's been revealed? I still think it's Ferrari. Ron, how you doing? I think Ferrari from yesterday is the nicest one. Do you know what? I don't hate this McLaren one. I don't hate this McLaren one. I know there is a lot of carbon here because of the black, but I don't hate it. I really don't. I think in this angle here, it looks a lot worse. You can see all the plain carbon. The lighting in the other one looks better. But, yeah. Yeah, I think, Luis, I think Ferrari's the best looking one, surely. I really liked the Alpha Tauri until, like, it looks nice on track. Although, did you see this picture they shared? It looks like, to the naked eye, it looks like they shared a picture of their car in a gravel trap. They didn't. It's just, that's what it looked like. No, because this is the official one. This is just like, I think it's the entrance to the track, like from their garages at Maranello. But it looked like they shared a picture of the car in the gravel trap. I think it looks nice on track, though. A lot of sponsors thrown in there, though. And then the engine cover area looks a little bit empty. Because you've got... I don't really understand why you've got Ray-Ban, Siva, Peroni, Shell all squeezed into the side pod and then nothing on the engine cover here. I feel like Peroni or Ray-Ban could have gone up there and it would have looked a little bit better, but I think Ferrari livery for sure is the best one so far. I think it looks nice. Morning, Nasha. How are you? Ron, how you doing? Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at Ferrari, there's a lot of sponsors on this Ferrari car. A lot of sponsors. Like, they've got the same sort of sponsor lineup as well that McLaren do, which is like on this area here under the side pods. They've got loads of sponsors. Like, they've got Santander, Celsius, obviously they have to have Pirelli, Amazon, Shell, VGW Play, I can't even remember what that one is, but Richard Mill, Peroni, Santander again, ZCG, whatever the hell that is. Don't know what that is. And then obviously V-Power and VGW, they're repeated. There's more down here as well. I feel like one of these would look better on the engine cover, though, no? Like Peroni, Ray-Ban would look better if it was across the engine cover, but that's just me. That's just me. I'm going to keep an eye out on the YouTube, just in case they do post a video that isn't currently set as a premiere, but I think it'll just be pictures that they share. I think it'll just be pictures. How much do you reckon it'll cost to have, like, say, this emote, the Hadz Gobble emote on the engine cover of the Ferrari? Should we ask them? Do you think we could raise enough funds? $1 million. It probably would be a lot, yeah. I mean, you're right. It's obviously more than many big companies could afford, let alone. Okay, listen. All right, fair enough. It's not realistic. I'm backtracking from that idea. Fair enough. Not realistic. I've got you. I've got you. I'm literally watching a video of a clock while looking at the real clock. Oh, here we go. Presenting the MCL. I'm going to look at YouTube as well, just in case it's gone live, but this is the actual car. Kia. Yeah, I hope they put this on YouTube. Are you kidding me? What? The most abstract video there ever was? Sorry? What? Is that real? Is that all we're getting? It's the most abstract video ever. What? I can't see a thing. That's a car launch, is it? Well, I thought they were going to be doing a normal reveal, but what? They've literally, they must have found something. They must have something that they don't want people to see, surely. There's no live, Lazard, no. There's no live that I can see. There was no live stream. There was no video beyond the one they've put on Twitter that I can see. Nothing else. Bearing in mind, like I say, they've already shown off their livery. Like we were saying, they've shown off their livery like a few weeks ago. So we were just waiting to see what the actual car looked like, but that is the most abstract video. They've most of the video is looking at their factory. Is there a different video on Instagram? Or is it the same one? No, that's not the right one. That's not the right McLaren, is it? Which one's the right McLaren? Have they got a separate McLaren F1? Yeah, it's this one. No, it's the same video. Yeah, it's just the same video. Most of the video is looking at the factory. Alright, time to pause it and see what we can see. No, I think that they must be doing something in the side pod area that they don't want to share. Obviously, you can't gauge anything from this. I tell you what you can gauge, which isn't in... Oh, it kind of is, actually. They do have this shelf area that Mercedes have, but it looks more extreme, but it's very hard to gauge from that image there. You see where the sponsor logo goes down the side there? I mean, you're just clutching at straws there, though, aren't you? Yeah, I'd literally have to download it, enhance. I mean, just to be clear, I understand teams want to hide things, right? I understand teams want to hide things. But we're literally a week away now from pre-season testing. If McLaren had found something on their car that they didn't want people to see, they're doing a shakedown later today at Silverstone, I think. So there's a good chance there'll be spy shots of it anyway. And B, people are going to see it in a week anyway. Yeah, Neo, Mercedes have got a live stream at 10:15. I will be back live on this channel at 10 a.m. ready for the Mercedes reveal, which I am very excited for. Maybe even a little bit before 10:15, we'll be live back here to watch the Mercedes reveal. You know what? I like the Ferrari red on the wheels. What do you think of the Ferrari red wheel cover? I really like it. See you later, buddy. Yeah, the Ferrari red looks really nice, doesn't it? I mean, we can gain nothing from this. We can gain absolutely, positively nothing. Airbox intake is slightly different, but I mean, not hugely different, but it's definitely... Scott Mitchell. His Twitter. Does he have any... I do follow Scott. I can't remember which one is his... It's this one, isn't it? Ah. Aha! He's got an actual... What the... Am I missing something? It doesn't actually look that different from last year's car. Does it? Wait, hold on. I mean, obviously it is different. The side pods are far... You can see here, the side pods are much more sculpted. Engine cover is different, for sure. Side pod entry is different, but it's not... It's definitely an evolution, isn't it? It's definitely an evolution of the last year's design. There is a lot of black on it. There's a lot of carbon on it, for sure. Again, McLaren have got something... You know, they're trying to work on this halo area a little bit like Ferrari as well. Nothing as extreme as we've seen on the Red Bull. For those of you that have seen, who would the Red Bull? There's been a sort of a very, very poor quality image of the Red Bull doing a shakedown at Silverstone, and the side pod entry on the Red Bull looks very, very, very slender. Yeah, we can't. Well, if I'm correct, Jason, McLaren obviously get their gearbox from Mercedes, as do Aston Martin. I don't know if McLaren get their rear suspension from Mercedes, but if they do, they'll have the new rear suspension that Mercedes have. Because Mercedes have gone to and let me make sure I get this right, push rod in the rear. I can't remember which way around it is, but Mercedes have changed their rear suspension, I think, from pull rod to push rod. And because they've done that, and the points are on the gearbox, Aston Martin have adopted that suspension. I don't know if McLaren do. I don't think they make their own gearbox. I'm not sure that's right, Jason. They might make their own suspension, but I don't think they make their own gearbox. I'm pretty sure they get their gearbox from Mercedes. Like, for instance, Sauber get their gearbox and engine from Ferrari, but they don't take Ferrari's engine. They actually make their own gearbox casing so they can have their own suspension mounts. It would be a hell of an undertaking to make their own gearbox for an engine that isn't their own. I'm not 100% sure on that. Yeah, I'll be honest, this McLaren isn't as drastic as I was expecting. And this can't even be the car, guys. I've just realised this can't be the car. Look at the floor. That's not the real floor. Are we sure this isn't last year's car? Are we sure? That is not the floor that they would be running at a shakedown. That can't be the real car. This must just be a car they've put... Honestly, this looks like a render as well. It doesn't look like a real picture of the car in the factory. It looks like a render to me. Yeah, one sec, I said. There you go. You can post it. It just doesn't look real, does it? Yeah, these are definitely renders, for sure. Now, see, this is interesting because there is at least part of a flaw on this one. Look, there is at least part of a flaw, whereas on this, they've made... This is a render. They've basically taken away any flaw details. So I'm not even convinced this is the car that will do a shakedown at Silverstone. This is a very basic version of that car, for sure. They're trying to keep some things to themselves until testing, 100%. Which is why in that video they didn't really show much off. Like, look at it. I mean, that's definitely a render, 1000%. Because if it was pictures as well, the floor wouldn't change. For instance, you've got a completely flat floor here, which you wouldn't have, and then a different one in the side angle. If they were real pictures, they wouldn't be. Yeah, you could be right. It could be like a real picture that they've then edited, Kenny. You could be right. And you're right, they did hide their floor last year. Well, no, that's not true, Aiden. They did the livery 3 weeks ago. McLaren are one of the only teams that did a livery in a separate reveal. So if they just wanted to show off the livery, they could have done... They did that 3 weeks ago. They then don't need to show off the car. They could be like, actually, guys, we're not showing off the car. Or they could have just had a launch event with a livery on last year's car, like some other teams have done. But McLaren made a point of having a livery launch and then a car launch. So there's no point in having a second car launch if you're not at least going to show off part of the car. But to me, it seems like they're hiding some stuff here. They're purposely not showing off too much, which is fine. They might have found something. They might just have something they don't want to share. There's nothing wrong with that. But like I say, it's a week from testing. And once testing comes around, all of the teams have got photographers on the books to go around and get as many pictures of as many cars in as much detail as possible. So nothing will stay hidden in Bahrain next week. Let's have a look. You might be right. Oh my God, you're absolutely right, Kenny. I said that the floor wasn't right, and you are 100% spot on. Look. The floor is straight, but they haven't altered the shadow. The shadows look weird on this, though, don't they? The shadows just look odd. I don't know. It looks like the car's floating, which is why it doesn't look real. I don't know. But yeah, you're absolutely right. See, the floor is straight, but the shadows giveth it away. Do you remember Alfa Romeo's floor from last year? Oh, actually, I'll probably have it here somewhere. Hold on. 2023. You remember this? They showed off this last year, and people were like, "What the hell is going on here?" And later, Sauber basically said, "Yeah, it was just a joke." It was just they were just doing it as like a joke to catch people off. It wasn't a real flaw, which I thought was funny. Yeah. So, you know, we can't really take too much from this because quite clearly they're hiding things. They don't want to show everything off. Obviously, there's, as you say, there's a picture here where they've changed the floor, but then the other one they haven't. Which is, you know, odd, isn't it? But they're doing a shakedown at Silverstone today, so we might see some shots from Silverstone, maybe. And then well, next Wednesday. But yeah, you're right. There is this side shot that they haven't altered the floor on. There's nothing there that I can see that they'd want to hide, though. There's nothing crazy there that they'd want to hide that I can see. So I don't know. The thing is, with this type of thing, they're not showing the car off in person. They can hide as much as they want, really. Like, they don't have to show anything off, do they? They can show as much or as little as they want. There was this picture of their livery. No, there was no live stream, Aiden. I think the Mercedes will be a live stream, I think. Like, as much as you can take from this, there's a couple of things that I can take, which is why I think this isn't the updated version. There's no scoop like they had last year that Red Bull had. There's no scoop at all. And I think that will change. Then the side pods are definitely different, and there's far more of a bulge in the engine cover. But, you know, the rest is going to be... The airbox is different. You can see that the two pillars on the airbox is definitely different, but people with a lot more knowledge will be able to scour through these and find more. But it's small changes, evolution. But like I say, I don't think this is the car that's going to end up at Bahrain. This is supposedly the new car, yes. Listen, I'll check out their bulge. I'll check out their bulge all day long. Oh, no, that won't be live, Aiden. Sorry, no. So, Red Bull had a shakedown at Silverstone yesterday, and it's very much a private event. I don't know if Mercedes are having a shakedown at Silverstone today as well. or if they're just having a car reveal. I don't know if two teams can have a filming day on the same day. I don't think so. So I guess Mercedes aren't doing a shakedown today. Yeah. There you go. There's the McLaren car. Right. There's not much more to gather from the McLaren car. If you're watching on YouTube, come back here, hit that subscribe button, and come back here at 10 o'clock because we were going to be watching the Mercedes launch. And I think they're going to be revealing not only a new car, but obviously a very different car from last year. So if you're here on YouTube, make sure you come back in an hour's time because Mercedes are going to be launching their new car. And we all want to see what that looks like, don't we? Carbon. I'll see you then. Right.